Aloha, everyone. I just got to check up some stuff on my settings real quick before we start the show. Cool. Looks like I am up and running. Cool. All right, in today's show, we're going to be talking about Mortal Kombat, both the arcade game and the movies from 19. Let's see, Mortal Kombat 1 came out in 1995, and then Annihilation, I think. Okay, I had to go look it up. It was 99. Yeah, 1997. Thank you.
Yep.
So we're going to be talking about those things here today. And today I have my friend Essence28 with me. Essence, say hello to everybody.
Hey, how's it going? I'm Essence28.
Cool. Yep. So let's start talking about the show on Mortal Kombat. Let me pull up. And let me ask you real quick.
Mm-hmm.
On when did you play Mortal Kombat 1? Was it like in an arcade, a supermarket?
It was on the Super Nintendo.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So you
was
didn't
the first
get
Mortal
any.
Kombat.
You didn't get any exposure to the first arcade game?
Nope, not until like a couple years later.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I was kind of thinking about that when I was like collecting my arcade machines. I did kind of want a either a Mortal Kombat 1 or a Mortal Kombat 2 for my collection.
Oh,
But as you can see, I'm kind of limited. So in front of me would be the Centipede arcade machine. So unless I move the freezer out of here, which I can't, my wife won't let me move that, then I can fit one more arcade machine in this little arcade room I have. But yeah, I've always thought about that. But I want to get your take on Mortal Kombat 1 for the Super Nintendo. Why is it your favorite game?
so that was actually my first fighting game ever. I didn't. So like, I didn't start with like Street Fighter like everybody else. It started with that Super Nintendo port of Mortal Kombat 1. So I was really fascinated by the concept of a fighting game, just playing as two guys beating each other.
Yeah.
Um, so, and that even wowed me more than like the violence it was known for. I was more focused on, like it was a fighting game, the first
Oh,
fighting
yeah.
game I ever saw.
Well, kind of realistic on the the characters, how they look like instead of the cartoon looking characters. They actually look like something from a movie.
Mm-hmm.
But and also, I did own Mortal Kombat 1 for the Super Nintendo. Also, what did you
Oh, really?
think about them removing the a lot of the fatalities? So it was really toned down for us Super Nintendo players compared to the Genesis crowd.
Hmm. Well,
Did you miss it, or you didn't care? I mean, it was just fun for you.
yeah. So it was like the first fighting game I ever saw at all. So like, I didn't really think about that at the time. But my uncle also had Mortal Kombat 2 and Mortal Kombat Trilogy, and there was the violence in that.
Yeah. Do you
So I
like
guess,
one more than two? Did you ever play two?
yeah, a little bit. I mean, I think 2 is a better game, but like, I love Mortal Kombat 1 more personally, just
Uh
because
huh.
like I have more nostalgia memories for that.
For that game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I am on the same boat as you. Mortal Kombat 1, I have more nostalgia for that game. I remember it very well. It was since I live in Washington State now, not Hawaii, but I remember going to the Vancouver Mall and Mortal Kombat was there, the first one. And I seen like a line of teenagers playing the game. And I was like, what are they playing? So I had to go check it out. I usually I get like a few quarters from my mom to go play at the arcade, but I went over there to see what was the hubbub was all about, and that's when I saw the side artwork. It looked, Johnny Cage on there. It looked like Van Damme, which is crazy because the actually,
Irony's based off of him.
yeah, basically that was Van Damme they had imaged in their head for the side art. So I went and checked it out, and I saw somebody playing as Raiden, and then another
Ooh.
person was playing as Liu Kang. And when I was like watching this, and it was kind of cool. Instead of kind of watching directly from the screen, they had a CRT monitor above it, so people can watch what's going on because you
Oh,
can't really
really?
see anyway. It's that crowded around the machine. But I remember them watching. I'm like looking at it, like, hey, Raiden looks a lot like that Thunder God from Big Trouble in Little China, and of course Liu Kang looks like Bruce Lee. And
Hmm.
I saw the backdrop of it on the background. I mean, and it was basically the Enter the Dragon tournament, which it looked. That's what it looked like to me, and I was like,
Enter
wow,
the
this,
Dragon.
yeah, yeah. And the tournament Bruce Lee was sent to fight that guy at. But yeah, I was like watching this, and then what blew me away though was the fact that unlike Street Fighter Two, the cartoony characters, and I love Street Fighter Two, by the way, it was different. When I meant different is the characters are modeled after real people. Which did you ever watch that? They actually had a like a green screen, and they would do the moves,
Yep.
and that's how it got integrated in the game. So yeah, I got to see that, and one of the things too is the roster. I think the only person I didn't care to pick was Kano. I wasn't interested in playing the bad guy, but everybody else there. We'll start from Johnny Cage, of course. That's Van Damme. That's what he looked
Mhm.
like to me. Raiden was definitely the lightning god, or not the god, but that lightning guy from Big Trouble in Little China. And then Sonya Blade, that's definitely Cynthia Rothrock from a lot of those Hong Kong kung fu movies. Seems like that was based off of her. Let's see, the two ninjas, Scorpion and Sub Zero. So here's the funny thing about those two. I seen them in a movie. It was like a VHS movie I rented, and it had like these ninjas wearing those type of costumes. And I was like chuckling to myself. I'm like, oh, I wonder if Ed Boon watched those horrible ninja films because the outfits were just, or the outfits were so cringe. But when I saw them on there, that actually made it a lot cooler, especially when I seen Scorpion throw his
Harpoon.
his harpoon, and then he says, "Get over here," and I'm like, "Oh, I definitely want to play this game," but it didn't come about until like much later. I know when my town had it at a supermarket. I was surprised it had it at a supermarket, and I got to play Liu Kang, but I figured out how to do his fatality because I seen it in a magazine. So
Oh, where it
sometimes
does
when
the
you go to a
uppercut.
store, yeah, I think it was in a Game Pro, and then I kind of read it real quick because everything else was a little bit more. You need to do this in order to pull the moves. So his I got
Hmm.
pretty. I could figure out. It's like, oh, okay, you just roll the joystick around and you hold block. So I did that, and I remember these two little kids came up behind me. I was just a young teenager then, and I played it, and I did that fatality, and they were just like, "Wow, that is so cool." And I said, "Yeah, it gets even more worse if I use any of the other characters." And
Yeah,
but
exactly. Because it's
yeah,
the least
yeah,
violent.
yeah, really, really violent on those things. But yeah, they were fascinated by that. But I was like I said, I was shocked they had Mortal Kombat in my grocery store. But I ended up playing that, and I loved it. Oh, we got a person on here. Hello, Mr. Postile. And he says, let me highlight his comment. Scorpion was my favorite. I mostly played on the SNES also.
Oh, heck yeah.
Sweet.
Team SNES.
Yep. Yeah, how about you? What was your favorite character on Mortal Kombat for the Super Nintendo?
Um, yeah, I was gonna say, like, I was about to say, like, when I first saw the game for the first time, like, I was very fascinated with Sub-Zero and Scorpion, the two ninjas,
Nice. Uh-huh.
and like the color. But at that age, my favorite color was blue, so I loved Sub-Zero, and I thought his freezing stuff was cool.
Oh
So he
yeah,
was my favorite at
definitely.
the time.
And then I'm not sure if I remember this right. Did the Super Nintendo have like their little cutscenes? Who the different characters? I think it was just still images, right? Do you remember?
Um, for the endings
No,
or like
like it shows
introductions,
like Liu Kang, and then it shows like Kano. It has their little, their little
description.
their little
Who they
bio.
are.
Did it move, or was it a still image? I'm just trying to
It
remember on that.
was actually in the Super Nintendo version. It was just like a little frame, and it showed like the characters as they look in the game, doing their like winning pose.
Okay, so it didn't
Yeah,
move like the arcade did, because it
no,
was moving around. Yeah,
yeah, they
yeah,
didn't have
probably
like an
couldn't.
image either. It was just like a
Okay.
frame, and like the characters did their winning
Oh,
taunt in it.
nice.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
which
I grew up. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, if there's anything that's flawed that like I find flawed with the Super Nintendo version, it's just that like because I feel like they could have done that or just had like an image from the arcade,
Uh huh.
like they probably wouldn't be able to do like the whole motion video on the arcade, but they could have done like an image of it and it would have looked cool, you know.
Yeah, yeah,
So
for sure, for sure.
because like yeah, because they didn't do that on the endings either. Like it just showed them like you know the characters falling on their to their statue and then these like credits roll up,
Oh,
saying
yeah, yeah. I remember that.
yeah, saying their ending.
Yeah, another thing too was the remember they removed the blood. It was just sweat.
Yeah, I was sweat. Um,
Yeah, I remember when I picked up that game, so I was able to get it for the Super Nintendo. We had like this line of people. I'm trying to think, was it Electronics Boutique I got it at? But anyways, we had some kids that were Genesis kids, and of course the Nintendo kids. There wasn't a lot of us. I was kind of shocked. I'm like, oh, I'm one of the older kids here, trying to get my copy of it. And then I heard the Genesis kids, the ones that are gonna get it. It's like, oh, I
bragging
can't wait
about
to
their
play
blood.
this. They got the blood, they got the fatalities. But it was nice though. They weren't calling like for people like me, like own the Super Nintendo, like, oh, you bought the sucky one.
Yeah,
They were just happy to be there, and then to get their copies. What was kind of funny though, the ones picking it up for the Genesis had their parents, and I didn't have to. I could just get it. Except I remember when Mortal Kombat 2 came out. That's when I had to have my mom buy the cartridge for me, because it was a what was it, a mature rated, mature rated game, because it had the fatalities and stuff on it. And I remember the sales guy saying, "Yeah, do you realize this has like blood, violence, like people's heads being taken off?" And my mom just said, "I don't care. He watches horror films anyway." So I was able to get it, and she knew I wasn't going to try to do fatalities on the outside with other kids. So yeah, that was actually pretty awesome. I remember when they put the blood back in, and I loved playing that. I was, what was it? Pretty much I had it over at my aunt's when I was living with them. So I had my own TV, and I played that game a lot. Plus I bought some of the Game Pro magazines that had all the moves, so that way I can practice them. Did you know all the moves for the characters, or just some?
just
Just some of it?
yeah.
And besides Scorpion, did you play as anybody else?
Um, yeah, like I remember like a couple years later when I saw the movie and like I saw Liu Kang was like supposed to be the main character of Mortal Kombat, I guess. I
Uh huh.
started picking him and yeah.
Oh, really? Oh, it's we got another person that showed up. Retrotainment TV. I know who this is. Let's
Hey
show
there.
his comment here. Yep.
Noob Saibot. By the way, you
Now,
know that's Tobias Boone spelled backwards?
no, I did not know that. That's a fun fact.
Hmm.
I did not know that. That's cool.
Yeah.
So was he a playable character on which game? You probably know this
So,
one.
yeah, so he was like a secret character fight in the second one, just like
Uh huh.
Reptile was in the first one. But he wasn't playable until Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3.
Yeah, which you played. Yeah, I haven't played the three games. I seen it, but they weren't my games.
Hmm.
Especially when they added that run, I was just really bad at.
My mom
Oh,
let me get that when I
here's.
was
Oh, go ahead.
hey there.
Your mom let you get it.
Yeah, when I was only 5 years old.
Oh,
Like,
nice.
so it's just like I'm a little kid and I'm like, sir, I want Mortal Kombat 3. So
Really? She she bought you that game?
yeah.
Wow.
I wonder what the guy was thinking.
I mean, the first one would have been fine because there's like
Yeah,
sweat in that game. Yeah.
exactly.
So Arcade Chaos mentioned Sindel. Okay, these are from three,
Hmm.
and then Quan
Quan
Chi.
Chi, Mortal Kombat 4.
Okay, and then what is this? Poe. I loved Scorpion. Yeah, a lot of the people did. When I played Mortal Kombat, I didn't really use Scorpion too much until later when like I said, when I was playing the Super Nintendo one. But at the arcades, my favorite ones to use were Liu Kang, and I loved playing Scorpion. And I'm trying to think, what's the girl? The
Sonya?
girl one, Sonya Blade. Yep, those
Heck
were
yeah.
mine that I liked. Until later when I started like figuring out Scorpion's moves, and I loved playing Scorpion.
Hmm.
Yeah, love Scorpion fan. Who did you
His
like more, Cyrix or Sector or Smoke? All right, I'm gonna pass that down to Essence 95. What do you think? He's got a question on that.
That's a good question, but probably Smoke because he
Smoke's
was
your
a secret.
favorite?
Yeah, out of those robots, he was a secret character in Mortal Kombat 3, so that might be part of it. And he's like the other robots, but he's silver and he smokes.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, what's the other question here? Reptile, I always liked because green has always been my favorite color. All right, Chaos. I love, yeah, as far as like colors go, green is my favorite color. As you can tell, I'm wearing green right now. Even my outfit for my banner is green. Green's my favorite. But yeah, I did like Reptile. That was Mortal Kombat 2. So I did play with him a lot on the second Mortal Kombat. So yeah, definitely agree. Reptile's an awesome character
Yeah, and like I said, that's why I loved Sub Zero when I first saw him, when I first saw the game, because blue was my
because of the
favorite color at
color.
the time. Yeah, but like
Nice.
later, my favorite color turned into red, so then it turned into Ermac.
Ermac, yeah.
Yeah, probably a stupid reason, but I do legit
No,
love
no, it's not
Ermac.
a
He's
stupid reason
interesting.
at all. You pick what you pick. Yeah, I agree. Smoke just EA. Okay, he likes smokes. Oh, ekes it out. Okay. Let's check a look at this. My favorite Mortal Kombat for nostalgia reasons is Mortal Kombat 3 Ultimate, and then probably Trilogy just because of the nostalgia factor. Oh, okay.
Me
Yeah,
too.
yeah, Chaos. For me, it's definitely not 3 for I have more nostalgia for 1 and 2. That's the ones I played in the arcade most of the time. And I think when 3 came out, I was in the Navy and I got back into Street Fighter. So that was when X-Men versus Street Fighter came out and Marvel versus Capcom. So on the Navy base, when I was going through my A school, that's the machines that they had. And then they brought Mortal Kombat 3, in which, yeah, I kept losing at that game because of the run, because you can do the combination. It's just like, do I really want to study all the moves again? Because I got everything down with the first game, and the second game, and then here comes the younger guys coming in playing Mortal Kombat 3, and it's just for someone like me that just didn't use the run button. It's like they smoked me at that. But it's still, I did like how it looked like. It was actually a cool looking game. And was it the destructible levels, right? If you uppercut someone, then sometimes they go up
Oh
to the
yeah,
upper floor.
yeah, and
So I
it's like a whole
remember that about
level.
that. Yeah. I mean, if I'm thinking about it, if, I were to play it, I would at least want to know how to do the combinations to it. And then I probably would enjoy it. I think Ultimate would probably be the game I would want to play more because I think that's the better version.
Hmm.
Correct me if I'm wrong. All right.
Definitely is.
Well, let's move on to the second topic. Or we're going to be talking about Mortal Kombat 2. Did you have this game?
Um, so when my uncle had the first one, he also had the second one, but for some reason I could never remember it as much as the first one at the time.
Uh
Like
huh.
literally all I remember was the Acclaim logo was different because like in the first one Goro smashed it, and that
Oh yeah.
terrified
Yep.
me when I was a little kid. But in the second one there was nothing at all,
Yeah.
and that was all I remembered from that game for some reason. I
Oh
guess because I was relieved Goro didn't come back.
yeah.
Yeah,
And then
I was.
who's your favorite character on that one on part two?
Um, hmm.
Did you stick with Sub Zero?
Yeah, I was gonna say probably Sub Zero still.
Oh, I want to tell our viewers this, but I know for a fact this guy here is really good at Mortal Kombat Mythology Sub Zero, and I just wanted to ask you something about that real quick before
Hmm.
we go back to Mortal Kombat 2. How did you learn to play that so well without dying a lot? I owned that game and I literally died a lot. I think I got to the point where I got so mad at it. If I fell down again, I think it was at win level. I said,
Yes.
I'm selling this game, and then I fell again. Like took it out of my PlayStation and then put it back in its case. It's like, yep, you're going back. I'm trading you for something else. But it was hard. But I did love the cutscenes, and it was just very hard. I wish YouTube existed back then, and then I
Hmm.
probably would have been a better player playing that game.
Yeah.
So,
So so like the first time I saw that game, when I was around that age, my brother rented it on Nintendo 64. I
oh,
didn't know about the
nice.
PlayStation version, so I didn't know about like the cutscenes.
Yeah.
So I so watching him play that, like I saw him get to that win level too, and I saw him falling over and over again. So I feel like
Uh
that kind
huh.
of prepared me for when I played it years later. Um,
Oh, nice.
yeah, I mean, pretty much the same thing happened to me with that. Is like to like get good at a game that's really hard. Like you have to kind of like really love the game and like
Oh,
have
yeah.
patience with it. That's what got me through a lot of like really hard games, even ones that people consider crappy like that. Which I don't think. Like I never
Well,
thought Mythologies was a crappy game, but apparently a lot of people do.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it was like me. I loved it at the same time I hated it because when I played it, I just get mad. Like I said, that win level really. The first level, no, I figured it out. I was able to beat
Hmm.
that, but yeah, the win level. Oh, and we got another person here, Derek. Hey, Derek, what's up? Thanks for coming on the stream. Let's see. He says Scorpion to Sub Zero fan here. Nice. He liked the ninjas. So the blue and yellow ninjas for him.
It's like what happened with me, Sub Zero to Ermac, so I know how
Yeah.
that goes.
Oh, sweet. Yeah, so going back to Mortal Kombat 2,
Hmm.
and you got to play it. For me, my favorite character on that was actually Kung Lao.
Oh yeah.
When I seen his outfit and that hat, it's like, oh, it's on. I loved picking that character, and then I remember having to kind of look up from a magazine again, like how do you do that finishing move? So he had the, the hat where he just took the hat and sliced someone, split them wide open. So I had to go figure out that move too. So I loved using him, and I also liked how Raiden looked like too. So he had the different outfit besides the white. He looked really better in the second game.
Yeah,
And
he
then
did.
let's not forget we had Katana and Melina. When
Oh
those
yeah.
two were on the game, I loved using them as well. The female ninjas, they were
They
cool
were
too.
good.
Yep. The only one I was missing is like, where's Sonya? Where's Sonya at? And
Oh
then I'm
yeah,
like,
and
well, I don't
Kano,
really play as Kano. And then of course when you get up to the boss, what was his name?
Shao Kahn,
Not Shao Kahn.
Kizaru.
Yeah, you can see them chained up, so they're in the
Hmm.
background. So like, oh okay, they're chained up there. And then trying to think who was my other favorite person on there because I loved Kung Lao. And then Liu Kang looked different. Um,
Baraka was pretty crazy, but he was
oh
scary.
yeah, with the blades.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he was
actually he
good with
was
those.
okay for a bad guy. I liked him.
Hmm.
He was pretty cool. Yeah,
Yeah,
because he
he
would
was.
decapitate you with his long blades. He looked like, I mean, pretty much he's Wolverine, right?
Oh yeah, I
So
never thought about that, but yeah, that's true.
yeah. So Arcade Chaos, have you guys ever played the Jack Special Forces PlayStation game that came out after Sub Zero's Mythology? Okay,
Yes, I
I
did.
haven't. You
Just a
did?
little
What?
tiny bit.
Well, what did you think of it?
Well, well, actually, it was actually my brother who rented it when it came out.
Yeah,
But from what I saw, I thought it looked really interesting and cool. But
yeah.
so I hadn't played it or seen it ever since. But like way later, it turned out like everybody thought it was a really crappy game. Kind of like what happened with Mythologies.
Yeah. And then they also had the Shaolin Monks one. Do you remember that one?
Yes, that one was good. They actually did that right.
Is that the better game?
Yes.
Let's see here. Arcade Chaos. If I'm being honest, there's not many Mortal Kombat characters I hate. I'm a Shang Tsung fan also. Okay. Yeah, I didn't really use Shang Tsung. I know you can be different characters with him. He had an
More.
advantage doing that. Like I said, I didn't really play any of the bad guys. Baraka being the exception to the rule. Let's
By the
see
way,
here.
just curious.
Sure.
Did you ever fight any of the special fight characters like Jade and Human Smoke and Noob Saibot in Mortal Kombat 2?
No. All I did was try to beat it with the different characters on it. I knew you could do it, but I didn't, back then there's no computer for me to, look that stuff up. Or, if I did find a guide, I would just copy down, like on a piece of paper, notes, how to do the moves for the different characters. But I knew they had like a section on it for how to get the special characters on there, but no. How about you? Did you?
Yeah, I did. The one to do Jade was really easy because you just had to use the low kick the whole time, which
Yeah.
and the that sweeping move counts. And in Mortal Kombat 2, like that was like the cheapest way to win a battle, just tripping them over and over again.
Oh,
So yeah, so you do that all the way up to the question mark, and then you get into a fight with Jade, and it takes place at Goro's lair from Mortal Kombat 1.
yeah.
And she was insane. She was so fast and crazy. So I was
Well,
never
yeah.
able to beat her.
On two. So okay, the arcade game. The arcade game would let you win the first match easy peasy lemon squeezy. But the second character you fought, total cheap.
Yeah.
I was just like, what? I was trying to maximize my quarter. And I found this like Mortal Kombat 1 felt easier for me, but when I played 2,
Yes.
it felt a lot cheaper. And so I kept dying, and I had to put another quarter in, and then just like, what? It's like he's reading all my moves. And then I found out later, I seen another guy play the game. I was like, hey, can you pass this for me? And I even gave him my quarter, and he's like, yeah, sure, I'll show you how to beat him. And then, yeah, you have to be cheap. I think he was doing jump kicks, and it
Hmm.
was Sonya. And Sonya was just throwing me all over the place with that scissor kick she does, where she picks you up and throws you on the ground with her two legs. So
Yep.
he was coursing her to follow him, and then he jump kicked. And then he kind of went back a little bit, jump kicked her again. And he
Oh
says, "Yeah,
yeah.
don't uppercut her, and don't try to punch or kick her, because she'll pick you up with those scissor kicks." So you had to use cheap moves in order to beat a lot of the characters on the game, which I kind of learned from him when I was watching. But unlike the first game, it was cool. I kind of figured out how to beat a lot of them, and then learning from what that guy said. But unlike when you're playing Street Fighter 2, a lot of the different combinations you can use, like if you're using like Ken or Ryu, you can do an uppercut, the dragon punch with a different combo. And you can always finish off the characters, the AI characters differently. Mortal Kombat 2, it seemed like you couldn't. To me, that was my opinion on it. It seems like it was reading all my moves I was trying to do, with the exception of those cheap moves like the jump kick and stuff. Then there was some characters, right, that you can just sweep kick them, and then they'd always trip. So yeah, that's my memories of that game. The only time it got really fun is playing against someone else. That's the most I had enjoyment at the arcades. Is, oh, finally I don't have to. I'd rather take abuse from somebody that's really good with the game than the computer that reads all your moves. It seems like. So
Hmm.
yeah, had a blast playing that.
Yeah, I
Let's go over some.
remember.
Hold on. Let's go over with some of the chat.
Yeah.
So Mr. Postal says, "LOL, playing Mario Party with the kids." I never played Mario Party before. Have you?
You have it?
No.
Oh, grew up
Well,
with
I
that.
didn't own an N64. I just got one
Yeah.
here, not recently, but a while ago.
Dude, that was one of the funnest games you could play with other people.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it was actually like playing a kind of like playing a board game with friends, you know. But
Oh,
like
nice.
yeah, but you were playing like all these different mini games. It was super fun.
Oh, I should pick that up then, because I have one, two, three, four, five, six, eight Nintendo 64 controllers. They're the different color ones.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I bought the Brawler 64, and I had to have every color.
Dude,
So
I
I
want to
could
try that out.
literally I could plug in the four port. So that would be a good game to play with other people. So yeah,
Hmm.
that would be awesome.
Absolutely. Yeah, highly recommend it someday.
Let's see here. Noob and Sindel have always been my top two favorites since 3. Okay. Yeah, I remember Sindel. She's the lady with the hair that can grab you and stuff.
Hmm.
I owned it and thought it was better than Sub-Zero's game personally. Oh, okay. Everybody said.
What if he
Well, I
was
can't.
talking about Special Forces or that Sean
Yeah,
Monk game?
I can't comment on that Arcade Chaos, so I didn't own it. I never played it, so I'm not going to comment on it. I always thought it was cool to change the other characters. Okay.
Must be talking about Shang Tsung.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, I always thought it was weird how, like, in the first one where he was the villain, like, he looked like just an old man, and all the other ones, he's like, you know, younger like everybody else.
Oh, yeah. In the second game, remember, he was actually supposed to be punished by Shane. Um, oh, who's that guy's
Shao
name?
Kahn.
Shao Kahn. Yeah. Thank you.
Yep.
Had a brain fart. But yeah, he was actually supposed to be punished, and he ended up reverting him back to his younger state. So, they can win in Mortal Kombat 2. But yeah, that's why he got changed. And I didn't like the outfit. I'm sorry, I did not like his outfit.
Yeah, when
I
I saw
liked
that,
him.
I thought it was weird.
Yeah, just I don't know. I'm not trying to be not trying to be weird about it, but he just came across like, oh, okay, he looks like he works at a Chinese restaurant, with the
Yeah.
hat. He didn't look menacing. He looked like someone that, would give you the menu. So, but he did look cool. He did look cool. I loved him in the first game, how he looked like that old guy, because it
Mhm.
had that Big Trouble in Little China. Remember the bad guy in that film? So he had
Well, I
that look to
watched.
him.
Yeah,
Did
I
you ever
saw
watch
that.
it before?
I only watched it once, like many years ago, and I literally don't remember anything from it for some reason.
Oh, you need to watch that. That is
Yeah,
such a
rewatch
good
it.
movie. Yeah, I
Kurt
mean, yeah,
Russell.
Shang Tsung's in it from the first game. Yeah, you'll get to see Shang Tsung, and then Raiden. He's definitely in that game or that movie, I should say. All
Interesting.
right. Well, let's talk about the two movies. So we're going to
Mhm.
talk about Mortal Kombat 1 from 1995. Uh, okay,
Which is
Essence.
my birth year. So
Really?
I love. Yeah,
Did
I
did
love
you
that.
ever see it?
1995.
Did you ever
I,
watch it?
something really weird happened. Like when I was like 4, when I first saw the Mortal Kombat game, like I saw it on
Uh huh.
VHS at the store, and I'm pretty sure I bought it. But like when I brought it home, like I felt like I remember. I just barely remembered the beginning, and I have no idea what happened to the tape after like it was gone. So
Oh
that's
no.
kind of vague. But I didn't actually watch the movie till like 2 years later, and yeah, I loved it.
You loved it. Well,
Mhm.
tell me, what was it you loved about the film?
Well, I thought it was good, especially for like a game adaptation movie because most of them, suck.
Yeah.
Um, but that one they actually did a good job on because it was actually like the game and like it was actually like good as a movie too. Like it was very well made. And
Yeah.
yeah, and the characters were also entertaining in it, especially Johnny Cage, who was pretty funny.
Oh
Um,
man, yeah. Well, I got to
uh,
see that in theater when
oh
I got to
really?
watch it. Yeah, I watched it with my friends. Let's see, what year? 19 was it 95 it came out?
Yes. So I was just born.
So 95, I was a junior in high school. So that's when
Oh,
I got to see it. Yeah. So and then 96 of course that's senior, then right after high school I went went to Hawaii to go see my dad and then went into the Navy. So but yeah, 95 I got to see it. And let me tell you something. I'm so glad they focused on the three characters. Yeah, it was Johnny
mhm,
Cage, Liu Kang, and Sonya Blade.
I agree.
You just when you focus on those three, they were the ultimate trio. Now I know like a lot of people complained it didn't have a lot of it should have been like a rated R film, which I was that person too. I'm like I was looking at like PG-13. Are you kidding me? I want this to be a rated R film. But I went in, like I just got to lower my expectations. But it turned out pretty good. I really loved. Well, my favorite part in the movie was Johnny Cage versus Scorpion. Do you remember that scene?
Oh yes, that was
That was my
interesting.
favorite part of that film. That was so epic to me, especially when they did the finishing move, and you
Oh,
know,
where Scorpio removes his mask and it's a
yes,
skull.
and he's blowing fire while
You
Johnny
know
Cage is hiding behind that shield.
yeah, that fatalities terrified me too when I was a little kid. Like when he would do that and stare at the screen with his skull, that freaked me
Yeah.
out.
Oh.
So so that scene kind of like reminded me of that.
Oh
But
yeah.
I thought it was like thrilling.
Yeah, well the fight scene was intense, especially it
Yes.
takes place in the forest where he's trying to harpoon Johnny Cage, and then he gets teleported to I'm assuming hell, and they're fighting there, and it felt so visceral, especially with them trading blows. You could feel it, especially when Johnny's getting his head bonked a few times. You're like, oh, that seems like it hurts so much, but you could just feel it. And then
It
what was
was
kind of cool in
brutal.
the theater, yeah, The subwoofer was rocking out, and then hearing the Mortal Kombat music, you know. Oh, that was so awesome watching that scene, especially. But and then I wasn't bothered too. I loved the fact they used Goro. He was an actual, was it like not a puppet, but I think like a machine, right? Or was it the guy dressed up in a suit? I don't
I think
remember.
I think it was a guy in a suit, and it was
Yeah,
like
well,
puppetry, like the Ninja Turtles.
which is awesome. I love
Hmm.
that they did that instead of using CGI for him.
I agree.
He felt more realistic.
That was the
Yeah,
other reason
yeah.
I loved that movie was because of Goro and how they did him in that movie. That was awesome.
Oh yeah. Well,
Yeah.
remember when he stomped on Johnny Cage's glasses?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When Johnny Cage, like, punched him in the you know where, like, I remember being so satisfied
Oh, the
because I
nut
was
crunch.
terrified. Yeah, exactly. I was
Yeah, that was
satisfied by
a
that because of how Goro terrified me. I was like, yeah, take that, Goro.
yeah, yeah. Well, it was kind of funny. That was in Bloodsport. Van Damme did that move. Remember? I don't know if you ever seen
Oh, he did.
Bloodsport, but
I saw
that's
a
where they
little
got
bit
that
of
move
it.
from. Yeah.
I didn't know
Oh,
that.
that's what it seemed to me because he did a groin punch to the. It looked like a guy who's a sumo wrestler in that film. But yeah, awesome film. I love Mortal Kombat 1. I could watch that anytime, any day. It's such a great martial arts film. But
Yeah.
then there's Annihilation.
Yeah.
We're gonna move into that movie. So I'm gonna go with you first. When did you see it, and what did you think about it?
So, yeah, I pretty much saw that like right after watching the first one because like me and my brother got like a double DVD collection of the first two. So like we watched the first one first and then the second one.
Yeah,
At the time, like I didn't think it was bad. Like I thought the second one was fun to watch and I thought it was awesome seeing Shao Kahn and the rest of the Mortal Kombat characters in it.
yeah.
Um but I remember not loving it nearly as much as the first one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I
Oh,
never really knew why, but I could kind of see now.
Derek commented, "You broke my glasses, a hole."
A hole. Those
Yeah,
are five
that's the
hundred
line.
dollars
Thanks,
sunglasses.
Derek.
A hole.
Yeah. Yep. That was it. And then Mr.
Yeah, I was.
Postal mentioned, I don't think I've ever watched the films. Oh, dude, they're well. I mean, the first film was pretty good. I'll touch up on the second one when it gets to me. After Essence talks about his thing. But yeah, I'll kind of explain. Two is kind of a maybe. What's this one say? That scene reminded me of Freddy Krueger's Dreamland. Oh, okay. Let's see here. Yeah, the Scorpion scene was fun before the CGI crap. Yeah, I agree, Derek. I mean, they did use some CGI, but really,
Like
I'm
on the
really glad they
harpoon.
didn't. I'm glad they didn't use it on Goro. I don't care. Make him a
Yes.
puppet because you can see that. That's more realistic than a CGI.
It
Yeah,
also kind of makes
yep,
sense.
yep. I agree. Arcade Chaos. I take practical movie effects any day.
I agree.
Goro's got nards. Yes, he does. I love this costume. Sweet. Well, go ahead. Finish your story on the Mortal Kombat Annihilation when you watched it.
So, so yeah, like I said, at the time, like, um, like I thought it was fun to watch,
Uh
and I
huh.
thought it was edgy at the time. Um,
Did
and
you know the character Shao Kahn? The actor he played in Cobra. That's with Sylvester Stallone, the bad guy in it. Did you know he's from Washington State?
no way.
Yeah. Hold on. I
Hmm.
wanna. I will show you something here. Let me look up his character. Oh, I think I have it pulled up.
I did hear
Brian
he
Brian
was.
Thompson. Yes, and what was kind of funny, Brian Thompson also played Buffalo Bill from Joe Dirt.
Oh,
He was the like serial killer, or yeah, that were
yeah, rubs the
other
lotion
people's
on the skin.
faces. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, parodying
Brian
Silence of the Lambs.
Brian Thompson. Yeah, it was well. I'll talk about my thing when it gets to me, but yeah, that's actually pretty funny. All right, go ahead. I'm sorry.
It's okay. So, and I did think like all the fighting scenes were awesome.
Uh
Like,
huh.
because like in that one they were really like more actiony, like an action movie, which
Yeah,
probably which might not be like fitting for an adaptation for Mortal Kombat, but it was like really cool, to see them that way,
yeah.
like with like in the fights with Jax and the robots.
Oh yeah, the two robots were in there. Cyrex and what was the other character?
Cyrax and Sector.
Yep.
Oh, I think Smoke was in it too at some point, fighting Sub-Zero.
Oh, we have another person on our stream,
Oh, from Holland.
Lydia SR from Holland. Hey, Lydia, welcome to the stream. Salute from
Greetings from
Holland. How are you
America.
guys doing? Yeah, we're doing great, Lydia. We're just talking about some good old fashioned Mortal Kombat and the movies. Cool. Let's
But
see
yeah, I
here.
actually rewatched Mortal Kombat 2. Like, well, first I was also gonna say like I thought the end fight was really epic. Like there was so much to it. Like all these
Uh huh.
people fighting each other, like with Mataro, which I thought it was awesome. Mataro was in the movie, and
Yeah.
I loved Johnny Cage with his metal arms. And I loved it
Oh, are you
when
talking
like
about that's Jax? You meant Jax, right?
yeah, Jax.
Yeah, Jax. Oh, we
This
have
is a
another
best.
person. Feral Inferno is here. Johnny Cage for the win. Hey, Feral
For the
Inferno.
win.
I hope you meant the first movie, right? The second, he's not there too long.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead. Finish your story.
And I also thought like it was really interesting how like they had Liu Kang and Shao Kahn turn into those dragons at the end. Because I
Yeah.
remember Liu Kang did that in the game as like a fatality or an animality. So it was like they were playing with the animalities, and I thought that was cool how they tried that. Um,
Yeah, you're right. The well, and remember the first film, right, with Johnny Cage versus Scorpion, and
mhm.
you saw that autograph. So that was a
Yes.
friendship.
Oh, yeah, I
Yeah.
forgot about that. There was a
Yeah.
friendship like that.
Yep, that was a friendship.
I always wondered what was up with that, like shot
Oh,
in the
you did?
movie.
Well, now you know.
Yeah. I thought it just meant like Scorpion was like an obsessive fan or something
No,
of Johnny Cage.
that was for us, for the people watching the films. Yeah.
Dang, I didn't know that. That's awesome, honestly.
Well, you got
So
anything more to add to it, or are you done?
yeah, yeah, I was gonna say, I decided to rewatch it like last year, along with
Uh
the
huh.
first one, and like it felt nothing like how I remembered it. Like I could see why everybody like hates on it. Um,
Yeah.
like I didn't remember Baraka looking that bad, and Mataro looking that bad. And there's that famous line that Sindel says where she's like, "Too bad you will die," that everyone talks about. It's like,
Well, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Well, all right. I'm gonna go on to my experience for Mortal Kombat Annihilation. So I got to watch this. I was stationed in Spain in the Navy, and we had a movie theater there. So it's a Spanish base we were stationed at, and they would play all these free movies for us, right? So it's just one, oh, how many, like three movies, but it'd be up for like about a week or two. And Mortal Kombat Annihilation, I'm like, dude, I gotta go see that. So me, a couple of the other guys from the barracks, we went to go watch it. But what's kind of funny too with the Spanish movie theater, so we have surround sound, right? So we're like looking around. Oh, this is going to be epic. So we've seen all these speakers, right? It's like, oh, this is going to be so cool. But when we're watching the film, we're kind of like, wait a minute, this sounds like mono. And we were all laughing, and it's like, yeah, that's what they meant. Surround sound. You're being surrounded by sound. Not the true, like if there's something coming up from the left or the right or the front. Yeah, it was mono when we watched that film. But
Oh,
what I
dude, that's just
remembered, yeah, what I remembered most was the overuse of CGI in that film.
true.
So that part where you were talking about where Liu Kang turns into a dragon, for me, I didn't like it.
I was gonna say,
And
looking back, that was kind of weird.
yeah, it was kind of bad, but I remember, yeah, that scene. They changed some of the actors and actresses. Like Sonya Blade was a different actress. I mean,
Oh
I
yeah,
liked her, but I missed the original. And then
yeah, I
Johnny
remember that.
Cage, why in the heck would you kill him off? He was one of the most funniest characters from the first film, and they literally killed him off. I'm like, are you kidding me? And then no more Highlander guy. He wasn't Raiden anymore. You remember? You remember him, the Highlander? But it was a different actor playing Raiden.
Yeah, I
So
noticed that when I rewatched
yeah,
it.
most of the cast was
I didn't
gone, with the
like that.
exception, yeah, of Liu Kang was still there and Katana that I can remember, and that was it. It's like, what is this film? I miss those three because it made it so fun. But Arcade Kiosk brought up a good point. The movie is extremely cheesy with its lines. When I'm looking back at it and stuff, what I remembered that movie, I didn't like it. As soon as I left the movie theater, I hated that movie. I'm like, I'm never watching this again. So what do I do after 2 days? There's nothing on TV because we have, was it the AFES network? So I'm guessing it's the Air Force cable TV, but it only had like two channels. One that had a mix of American shows being played, sometimes football, you know, some of the sitcoms would play on, but there was nothing on. And then what's kind of funny, I only mostly watched Cartoon Network. And that was for the kids, but I'm like, no, I'm gonna watch Dexter's Laboratory, and then was it Johnny
Classic.
Bravo? I loved
Yes.
watching that too. So those were my two shows, and then Powder Puff Girls. But
Yeah,
yeah, it's just
honestly,
like, well, what's
that
that?
wasn't bad either. I was just saying
Yeah,
Powerpuff Girls wasn't bad either, and I was a dude.
yeah, I loved it. But it's like, oh, I'm kind of bored. I want to go to the theater, so I go back there. And I looked, I'm like, oh, I could watch something romantic, two romantic drama films, or I could go watch Mortal Kombat Annihilation again. So yeah, I ended up going back and watching Mortal Kombat Annihilation, and
And you said it was free,
look,
right?
it was free. I didn't have to pay anything, and you know what?
That helped a lot.
After watching it the second time and me laughing some more, I'm like, this movie's not that bad. It's just really cheesy. It's not as good as the first film, but it was just a very, very cheesy movie with the lines, especially with Brian Thompson being Shao Kahn. He really hammed up the acting performance on that, and especially the lady that played Sindel. That's Musetta Vander. So yeah, she was Sindel in that. But yeah, yeah, it was funny. And then what was kind of crazy too, remember Sub Zero? He only had a one parter, and a Scorpion. They were only used for one scene in that the movie where they just kidnapped Katana, and that's it. We don't see them anymore.
The scene where Sub Zero was fighting like robot
Yes,
smoke.
yes, yep,
I remember liking that too, like how it was like the Sub Zero from Mortal Kombat 3 where he's unmasked and it has that scar.
yeah, yeah. He had this. Yeah, he had the scar. But yeah, that was rough. But looking back at it, it's not bad. I mean, am I going to buy it when they have a 4K transfer of it? Probably not. I have the Blu-ray. But if they ever do like the 4K for Mortal Kombat 1, I'm definitely getting that
Absolutely.
movie. that's a must watch. It never gets old. Oh, especially we didn't touch up on this character, but on who played. Do you remember who played Shao Kahn in the first film?
In the first film.
Yep.
Oh, where he showed up as like the cloud at the end.
No, no, not Shao Kahn, but
Jason.
Shang Tsung. Yep.
Yeah, that Carrie guy.
Hiroyuki Tagawa. Yeah, he played a lot of
Yeah.
bad guys.
Hmm.
Awesome, Shang Tsung.
Yeah, they
I mean,
reuse
when
him a
they
lot.
oh yeah. Oh, it was kind of cool. And one of the new Mortal Kombat games, he
Hmm.
makes a reappearance, and that's him
Yes.
as Shang Tsung. That was awesome. And then I know I got the new Mortal Kombat game, and what's neat about that, I think that it's DLC. You can get Jean Claude Van Damme to replace Johnny Cage on there.
Yeah, I thought it was cool how they did that. I heard about that. I haven't played it yet, but I heard about that and like, oh, that's just like how, the inspiration thing,
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. Well, let me look at our how long we've been going. Almost an hour. I usually like to cut this off in an hour. So
Hmm.
we're gonna go to our final thoughts, Essence. Uh, what are you working on anything, or I mean, or as far as working on anything, what game are you currently playing that you're enjoying right now?
Well, you're gonna laugh at me, but I'm working on Super Noah's Arc 3D.
Oh,
Yeah,
I know that game. I saw it on YouTube before. Yeah, it looks like not Doom, but
Wolfenstein.
Wolfenstein.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
uses the engine.
So what are you shooting out for that? Is it like Noah's staff or something?
His slingshot. He's like feeding animals with it, flinging it into
Oh,
their mouths.
okay.
Yeah,
Did so you bought the game then, right?
yeah, because I guess they just like re-released the PC version on Steam.
Uh-huh.
And I've only played a game like a tiny bit in the past. I played Wolfenstein a lot, but only played Noah's Ark a little bit. And when I saw that, like, I thought it would be fun to like actually play through the game because I
Yeah.
figured the levels must be different. And I loved Wolfenstein, and I'd love to play more levels of it. So I thought it'd be a good way to do that.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
Wolfenstein. So for me, I know like those type of games like Doom, Wolfenstein, I really got motion sickness from
Oh
playing
yeah.
that. So I couldn't play it too long or watch another person. I know my friend who owned a PC with those games. Yeah, if I watched him play for just a little bit, I would get like motion sickness. And what kind of sucked, I had my bicycle, my Mongoose BMX bike that I would have to ride from his place. We lived out in the country when we moved to Washington State, and I would have to write, and I just had this throbbing headache when I had watched it. So that let me knew I couldn't really play first person shooters. Not until like much later into the future when Call of Duty Modern Warfare came out, and that's the first time I'm like really pushing myself to play that game. And then I didn't get dizzy by it after I played it a while, but it still affects me if I'm watching someone else play. But what's kind of neat nowadays, if I watch like the newer Call of Duty games, if someone's playing that, I don't get motion sickness, which is good. I think maybe it has something to do if the guy is bobbing up and down. But
Hmm.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that makes
definitely.
sense.
Hmm.
But yeah,
And
Doom was my
then
jam my whole life.
Doom. Yeah, he
Yes,
loved he
the
loved
original.
playing Doom. Well, it's kind of fun. I did own Doom on my Atari Jaguar back in the day, so that was one of the games I got to play Doom on. So yeah,
Hmm.
but like I said, I could probably play it for 10 minutes, and I had to stop, or like at least push myself to do a level, then save it. Then I'm like, all right, I'll play the next level tomorrow, so that way I wouldn't get too sick.
So I heard
But
that was like a decent port, but it was just missing the music.
yeah, yeah,
That
which it
really
needs the
sucks.
music. The music goes
Yes.
along with the game.
Yeah,
So yeah,
exactly.
definitely.
Can't play Doom
If
in silence.
don't buy the Doom
I also
on
had it on
on.
Super Nintendo. I loved that version. I loved how
Did
the
it have
music
the?
sounded on it.
But wasn't the frame rate pretty bad on that one?
Yeah, but
Okay.
like for being on Super Nintendo, like that was really impressive. I mean, it
Yeah.
did use the Super FX chip.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Well,
Uh,
like for me, what I'm playing right now, I am. Well, I can't actually talk about it. Dang it, I forgot. Derek would know if I mentioned what the game is. Yeah, right now it's a secret. I'm currently playing that game, which is going to be for my next video. I want it to be a surprise because if I even give a slight hint, people will know what the game is. But it's fun. But as far as like, well, let's see. For secondary games, I've been playing. I've been actually playing Karnov for the NES, so I kind of miss playing that. And I actually have the also the hacked version where it's God that sends you down to go fight the monsters, which is the Japanese release. So I guess for the Famicom, that one had a different script compared to the one we got from the US. So different. It's yeah, yeah. Basically, there's a story. There's even cutscenes on the hacked version. I might have to show that to you all watching that game because I do have the hacked version of it, which is the Japanese with the English subtitles and stuff. So that's what I've been playing. Those two games. But yeah, I can't wait to release that. So that's what I'm kind of working on right now. But I see we're at an hour, over an hour, so we got to end the stream. But
that
I
was
just want to
fun.
say, yeah, yeah, definitely talking Mortal Kombat with you. I just want to say thank you all for joining us for Mortal Kombat. Definitely an awesome game. Even the third one, if you guys like the third one, definitely play it. I just was not good at it. Yeah, definitely play that game. But wherever you can get it, and especially if you're into collecting arcade machines, like the first and second, or even the third, yeah, get them. I see them all the time, but the only thing is like, do I really want it because it has that widescreen monitor,
Oh
which
yeah,
I mean it doesn't bother me anymore, but I want the big CRT like my Street
CRT.
Fighter. Yeah, it's got the big CRT monitor, and what's kind of crazy that doesn't belong in that cabinet. That belonged inside the CRT that was from Mortal Kombat. So someone brought that because if it's off, if you look hard at it, it has Mortal Kombat kind of burned into the image. So I'm like, oh, that's interesting. The CRT came from a Mortal Kombat cab, which would explain why it's so big on there. But yeah, well, thank you for being my guest, and also
Thank you for
thank you
having me.
for yeah, you're welcome. We should do this again sometime, and then
I agree.
everybody here. I'm going to start from Arcade Chaos. Thank you for coming on board, Mr. Poe Style, Derek. Who else? We had the new person show up too. Let me go look. Oh, Feral Infernal. Thank you. Uh, oh, Lydia SR from Holland. Thank you for stopping by. And I think that's it. I'm almost done. I'm scrolling. I want to make sure I got each and one of every one of you. Retrotainment TV, which I know who that is. Thank you too for stopping by. All right, everybody. I'm going to end the stream. Take care and remember, gaming is your road to adventure. Goodbye.